thorough pace, premium racing analytics, allowing bettors to identify races with extreme pace scenarios in a matter of seconds. Capital OTB's mobile wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with Capital OTB's mobile wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.
Ryan Edo says happens after the Travers, Seth. Hoodie weather.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be nice and comfortable later on, and it's comfortable now. But yeah, it definitely is as compared to what we've seen up here up until this point. It is definitely cool.
I'm extremely comfortable.
Yeah,
jacket and tie. This is. I mean, there's.
And it's
the dew point might be about 42 degrees. I mean, there's no humidity, folks. This is the day. This is the day you come up to the track. This has been the season. I know the antithesis is true, but this is the season where the worst type of TV is TV that the audience can't see. And we're having it again this morning. We can't get 5 minutes in. But it's beautiful. Come on up to the track today.
What do you think, Seth?
What do you think about the weather, Seth?
Love it. Love the weather.
We only got 4 more shows. Let's try and get to the finish line. So, great day.
Yes, great day.
I am teasing my director. It's like a cat at a ball yarn or something. But a couple of things about yesterday. One thing. If Leslie's Loot, I'm not saying Leslie's Loot was the best bet of the meet for me, but what I felt was Leslie's Loot, when her career is done, will never find an opportunity to win a race as appetizing as yesterday's was. Now, what shocked me was she was 4-1 the second choice. We all knew she had bullet speed out, and I think at that point, do you put the track condition down there?
No,
I would bet an expensive dinner was muddy and sealed. And I'm a proponent that when it's muddy and sealed, speed is tremendously dangerous. And she was gone.
Yeah, it was there, certainly.
She was gone. And I was, I just really thought it was probably for me as good a bet as Arcangelo and Carl Spackler. The rest of the day, not so much.
Yeah, and again, we are looking at now 35.3% on the favorites. So it has come down since that 40 where we were much earlier in the meet, certainly. And as you say, evened out, which means there have been some weeks where we've been much below the 35%. And yesterday, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 favorite, 5 out of half. So it's 50% yesterday. So again, went up a little bit yesterday.
And, I maintain, especially when we had that in the 40s, how low the prices were of the favorite. And yesterday, now, I don't think this has ever happened to me, Seth. I had 6 top picks on our morning show scratch out.
Well,
and we only had 9 races. And I mean, I just got shellackled. Now for the good news, I only had 8 races to play in. Sunday's entries have not come out. We are running 12 on Saturday. I'm guessing we're running 10. I am now to Monday, Seth. I can go 0 for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and be in the black to attack Monday on closing day to win the meet. And that feels pretty good.
Yeah.
I have to say that feels pretty good.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And we will see what Monday's card is like. But so I would think... So you need a couple of and that's if you whiffed. You need a couple on Monday probably, but it's a whiff's unlikely.
I completely concur. I don't believe in things like Kismet or announcer's curse or anything. I put it out there for our viewers and the people that believe in me every day. I think we're at like 64 weeks on the Handicappers Report in the plus. We're going to be 65 because I'm going to get to Saturday. I'm really already there. But this is really about, my goal now, Seth, is to drag last year's ridiculously awful last week to the plus side, to have a 2-year beating the meet. That's the goal.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That certainly makes Saratoga more enjoyable for everybody if you wind up in the plus. And going on the front side over the past few weeks, I know for a lot of people it's been a struggle this year because the weather has just been, like you say, you lost a bunch of top picks, and the weather has played out that way for public handicappers, but the weather has played out that way. And the normal person doesn't necessarily come in with their top 3 picks written down, but it just on a day-to-day basis makes the handicapping a little tougher. Because I think a lot of people they don't have their top 3 picks, but they maybe have looked the night before, and all of a sudden you come in the next day and things are switched up significantly. So it's been tough for everybody. Although you're in the black, or heading towards the black.
Yeah. I mean, and I was wondering when you said that, I was like, I mean, I always say, and I believe it, I like chaos. I think this sport would be dead if $5.70 horses won 7 races a day.
I don't know. I'm just going by what I hear over on the front side. I don't know if anybody's. I won't say I don't know if anybody. Some people obviously are, but the majority of the people I've talked to have been kind of struggling at the meet with the weather. I mean, I think the weather has played a big part of it.
Okay. All right. What's the line? Struggles are real. I guess there's less struggles. I guess I have a different experience. I guess, but the weather has made it. I don't know, more fluid, literally, figuratively fluid, and I guess that's good. I guess, like I said, Leslie's Loot at 4-1. I was like, this is a good moment in a maiden special weight race. You don't get those too often. You got any promotions?
Yes. What did I do with the promotions? However, I put them here under the sheet. Don't forget, Kentucky Downs opens today. 7 days.
Tomorrow, September. You got the September promotions?
I do. I have the 2 sheets. Kentucky Downs opens 7 days, $24 million, all turf racing. Hopefully the weather holds out for them. But that opens today, so keep that in mind. Today down at the Clubhouse Racebook, prize wheel day at the Clubhouse Racebook. Put your name in the hat. If you get selected, you get to spin the prize wheel this afternoon. Clubhouse Racebook. Tomorrow, $100 trifecta challenge at the Clubhouse Racebook. Also, the bounty bet. Play the late pick 5 at Capital OTB Bet with your play with your Capital OTB Bet account. Late pick 5 at Saratoga. You got a shot at the bounty. Don't forget, tomorrow also online. It is the show pool, Sunday show pool, opening up the last one of the meet. That's online at capitalotb.com. Entries open tomorrow. Saturday, $100 play the board. I'm just looking. Yeah, $100 play the board contest at the Clubhouse Racebook Sunday. It is the double promo match bet and exacta board. And I don't think I have it here in front of me, but don't forget, it's Fan Appreciation Day, Fan Appreciation Week up here. So there are some discounted opportunities. There's some days you get to have access to the paddock suite. Today, low rollers, 2 shots at the low rollers before the meet ends. Tomorrow, the last giveaway of the meet, the tote bag. So keep all that in mind if you're headed up here or headed down to the racebook. What?
Right? The giveaway walkout.
Oh, you're right. The additional. That's right. Closing day. If you come to the track when you walk out, while supplies last, they have some of the cooler jugs left over. So that they will hand those out closing day. Was it closing day or Sunday?
I think it's Sunday.
So, okay, Sunday. Sunday after 4 p.m. On your way out while supplies last. So if you didn't get a cooler jug, you can do that on Sunday.
And I'm sure there are multiple uses, but I'll tell you one thing. If you live in suburbia and you do yard work, it is a home run for yard work workers, because that's exactly what you need. The big jug, and you go outside. So you got what, one more show pool to do?
Yeah.
Get through there. We got a few more days to go. Now, isn't today one of the days for the birdhouse?
I think it was. I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe Sunday. I'll look. I think I have
I think you're right. I mean, I think it's today, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, again, access to that for
It's
folks
fun.
who, normally you have to have reservations and whatnot, but the last week there are a few days where you can go up and do it. And, you can go out, stand on that deck and overlook the paddock. It's a unique perspective to the paddock area and the walk out to the racetrack. It's worth taking a visit if you're up here at the track, Seth, this afternoon.
And it's Thursday, so I'm guessing the DePaula Chevrolet play of the day, maybe.
When you think trucks, think DePaula. Then come join the family for value. Just visit, call, or click.
This week's Chevy Silverado is just $539 a month with zero due at inception. Yes, zero down.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
Hey, everybody. Steve Bick with you, back for the Thursday DePaula Play of the Day. Got a decent run on the Off the Turf try on Wednesday. We're going to go to the 5th race today, and it's a maiden 20 that has drawn a 14-horse field, and I don't know how many of those we've actually had all meet. A 7-furlong group of modest horses, and some are dropping, and those are probably slightly more likely than the horse that we're going to tab. Certainly the 14, Screaming Uncle, for Chad Brown, dropping in from Maiden Special Weight Company. He's the most likely. But we're going to go to Michelle Giangiulio and Katie Bug Davis. Chess Spectacular, the 5, ran a very solid race at Belmont in the slop and has been working steadily for this Saratoga try. 15-1. And this Mastery Gelding really fits nicely in here. Is going to be overlooked, certainly, but has a middle of the pack, maybe slightly forward behind the speed kind of a style. And the way Katie Davis is riding, this is certainly a viable play of the day. The DePaula play of the day, 15-1. Chess Spectacular, the 5 and the 5th. Easy to remember. Good luck, everybody. Back with you on Sunday and then Labor Day Monday to close out the DePaula Play of the Day season.
When you think trucks, think DePaula.
The all-new 2024 Chevy Trax is here. Bigger, roomier, seats 5, and lots of technology. And just $449 a month, zero down.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on Thursday, August 31st. 5 more days of racing to go. I'm going to guess that's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 53 races, maybe 54. But today, the opener, and we are on the turf except in the 6th race, and we've switched turf courses for the finale. 2-year-old open company, mile 16.
6-3, the 1 entry, and 4. The number 6 is my dark horse play of the day, so I'll wait on that a little bit. But so I have the 6 on top, number 3, Cold Lightning, underneath. First time starter by Voltioro, Good Sire, first time starters. Giant Act sibling, won in the 2nd career start. Class Actor sibling, won in the career debut. Yet another Classy Act, second, 7th, and then a couple of wins. So thought there was win early on top and on bottom. Brad Cox can certainly have them ready. I'll go there. And then the 1 entry, the 1A is on the AE list and has a start already that it was okay. But the plain one, Chad Brown runner, there's a sibling called Bakil that won on debut in Ascot last year. So I thought there was a little something there that was interesting. Deep Conviction from Chad and Klarovich also has maybe a little bit of win early. But for me, in the opener, 6-3, the 1 entry, and 4.
Number 4, Deep Conviction, my top pick. I think it's pronounced Lope de Vega, has had multiple first-time starter wins. I think it had multiple on one day. And I'm riding this one, Galileo on the bottom side. I guess not literally riding. Irad Ortiz has the mount. I think we draw a terrific post position in here. We're probably going to get bet lower than 3-1. I did I do fancy the 10, Catherine Thomas. If the separation in odds becomes so great, Catherine Thomas, to me, could end the meet for me. Barkley tags offspring of American Pharaoh, makes the second career start, and then part of the entry that Seth mentioned, I did not include the AE, but Positive Carry scheduled to break for the number 4 post position for Chad Brown. 4, 10, and 1 in today's opener.
Race number 2, the popular mile distance for maiden special weight 2-year-old fillies.
153 for me, and just to let the audience know that I'm in the Times Union on Thursday, and I feel compelled to let you know I want our team to win so badly. Under other circumstances, I might take Dorothy's Dreams on top, but the way they calibrated in the TU, I'm not supposed to jump past Life Talk and even money off of the debut. The mile shouldn't be a problem. We'll see. We'll see what the final betting price is. Dorothy's Dreams, to me, though, with John Terranova's runner, who on debut was bet and ran well, and I expect to run well again. Why? It's almost 2 months, so plenty of time to recover. We're 6-1 on the morning line, and I believe because of Life Talk, we're going to get all of it. Backstretch Rose is the veteran in the group coming out of back-to-back turf races, 1-5-3.
Yeah, I have the one on top too, but I certainly don't think the one's invincible. But you have a little breeding there with Gunrunner on top. Just missed in debut. Of those that are fired so far, have run so far, the number on this one has a little bit of an edge. So it's a slight edge. And I looked and was willing to go in a different direction if I found something. I just didn't find anything that was super exciting. Chad and Clarvit, certainly they are intriguing with debut runners up here, and this one has a steady string of workouts, and maybe for me would be the alternative. But there was a sibling called Big Ticket. Did win in the second career of the start, 10th in debut, won the second start, but was a maiden claimer at Sam Houston. So I didn't know if there's anything jumping off the page there with the breeding. Matoli intrigues me a little bit on top. Paradise Lane, firster from Bill Mott, that may be interesting with some nice workouts underneath, but this is her first fall. So for me, 1, 2, 4, and 6.
On to the third, State Bred Sprinting, 5.5 on the turf.
1, 2, 4, and 5. I'm going to put Loon Cry on top. Christophe Clement runner tried a little stake at Presque Isle last time and ran an okay third, but before that, a couple of wins at Belmont, maiden special, and first level allowance. I think we stand a chance to rebounding back to those, getting back to the more proper non-winners of 2, stepping out of the stakes company try last time. How'd you make your money in the second spot? Nice improving numbers in the last few starts for Linda Rice, including that win last time on the move up to Saratoga in a very similar race. Why not right back again today with a good effort? Irad Ortiz is on board, the number 4 Master of Tunes, who showed some punch before fading a little bit late last time. That was at a mile. Might be interesting cutting back to the 5.5 today. For me, 1, 2, 4, and 5. And
your second pick was on it the last time at a solid price. I think you're going to get a little close to that neighborhood. You see 916. That's the 9 is really Times Union only at it. That was the MTO. So I'm with Seth. I'm Loon Cry from the inside, going to the hoop in the turf race for my top pick. I will say that as a turf race, it's 165. The 9 will be scratched if it's running a turf race, and it'll fill in. So it's a keeper. Number 5 draws in for me. Ms. Big Bucks, though, I know you don't have her on your list, but boy, I think she's good here. She's a 3-year-old taking on the elders, and so is our Loon Cry. But I think the 3-year-olds could be heck to pay. So it's 916, and I'll throw in the 5 because I'm expecting this 9 to be scratched out, which will have to be scratched out if the weather stays like this, because this is the kind of weather, to a small degree, helps out drying out the track.
Dark horse play of the day. I mentioned it in race number 1, and I printed my PPs up before the morning line, but I had checked ahead of time, but I just pulled it up to double check in the morning line. They have Kingdom Come listed at 10-1. I think that's generous for the Bill. Certainly didn't offer up a whole lot to, hang your hat on, but did have a little trouble in there and I think may benefit from that. But more notable, this is a sibling to Art Collector, the ill-fated Art Collector, unfortunately. But that one's second in debut, won the second start, went on to win $4 million. Sibling called Legionnaire, ninth and second, then won the third start. Classic Legacy, fifth and second, then won the third start. We'll see if this one can live up to some of the older siblings and show some of that nice improvement with the experience under the belt. And again, given what the situation was with the opener, I think we can expect some improvement today with that first start experience to build on. So again, nice little morning line price. We'll see if that holds up, and some very, very nice breeding. Justify on top, sibling Art Collector. I'll think Kingdom Come could be a player in here today. So Dark Horse Play today brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile in downtown Saratoga. Again, you can enjoy, they stay open late, enjoy a little dinner downtown, and then walk along Broadway and swing by the Dark Horse Mercantile, sister store Impressions of Saratoga, just down the street. And the Dark Horse Play of the day today, race number 1, horse number 6, Kingdom Come.
Take a quick break. When we come back, the middle pick 4. Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes.
It's in front, but here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Falba. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish to the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on this Thursday morning, live from Saratoga. Beautiful day up here. Sun is shining. The horses seem to be enjoying it as they go back and forth. I saw Jim and Tina Pond yesterday. I said, might have to get them to swing on. They said, and this is interesting because I haven't talked a lot about it, but I'm thinking with Naj the other day, Naj Thompson. I haven't mentioned breakfast now. It's either once or twice a week. They do the bus tours to a local farm, and Jim and Tina said it's been really well received because they're going out to their place, Song Hill, and they were kind of happy with the response, and they said they got a lot of good reaction from kind of new fans who were kind of learning the game, and so yeah, maybe we'll pull them in sometime over the last few days. But race number 4 on this Thursday afternoon, starter allowance at the $50,000 level. They will travel in the 4th, 7 furlongs.
And I think this is the first time ever when they put the chicklets up here. Oh, they didn't get. We must not have the 2E yet. Oh. We have the 2B, but we don't have the 2E yet. So I'll just say for my picking, I don't know that I've ever done this, but my selections are 1E, 2E, 1E, 2E, and the 6. So Seth apparently only wants one part of the entry. He doesn't want Girl Afraid. I know Robbie Falcone is, figuring it out, but I was 1E, 2E, and I don't think that that's ever happened here. I do want both pillbox and corner kick. I had to look at the TU today to see how they put it because I had different trainers, so I couldn't go that route.
I wrote Ramsey entry. I don't know what.
I could have gone that route. I didn't think of the owner angle, but they. I think what they did is I think they put pillbox entry, and I think they put Girl Afraid entry. The plain numbers one. And I see Seth agrees with me. I want both parts of the Ken Ramsey, whichever one runs. I want both of them. Girl Afraid and Freudian. I'll take either one of those. I suspect The strong one is the one Seth mentioned, Freudian. I know some people might back off if she scratches out and leaves me with Girl Afraid. I can understand that. But the second race, I like the comeback race. That's my kind of race. And then Proudfoot. But 1E, 2E, and the 6 in the 4th.
I'm 1E, 2B, and 5. And then I had the 6 down the 4th spot. But I thought Pillbox is kind of interesting. The career has been short, but a couple of starts on the turf, and last time on the synthetic down at Gulfstream. The dirt try to start the career wasn't exciting, but I thought the workout on the 14th said, we may be just a little bit better now than the first start of the career. So Pillbox is interesting. Corner kick comes in off a nice win, claimed out of that, moves into the barn of Robertina Diodoro for Ken Ramsey. Diodoro, very good off the claim, albeit a little cool at this meet, but I thought both of those were intriguing. Then I did go with Freudian. I much prefer that over the Plain 2. I will say I got to ride to I always applaud the neighborly folks. I was left the set yesterday. I was on my way over to the front side.
Rob
Falcone stopped and gave me a ride.
Oh, now I got to root for him now. I like the if you'd told me that, you got here early today, if you'd have told me that, I would have boosted up the 2 a little higher.
I probably should have too, but I like the neighborly folks who, when they have an empty seat on the card, say, hey, we'll give you a ride. So thanks for that. But legitimately coming off of the last couple nice improving efforts, Freudian is live. And then Brisky Frolic in the 3rd spot off the claim for Jeremiah Engelhardt. Moved off the turf last time and was kind of in the mix before fading a little bit. I think this horse, you go down the page and there's some things to like, and Jeremiah's okay off the claim, and we'll see. I think this horse could be a little bit interesting. I have it, the 1 entry, 2B, 5, and 6.
Wife and I were walking over one day. We got a ride, and she said, she goes, do you know the gentleman? I said, no, he's being friendly.
And most people are. Sometimes people zip by, and it's like, hey, man, you got 3 empty seats. Come on.
I don't know that anybody's ever gone by me.
No, most
It'd
people
be like,
are. Yeah. And we go back and forth with our carts too a lot. Yeah, if we're going by somebody, boom, you give them a ride.
Yes. On to the 5th, we have 3-year-olds and up. Maiden Claimers, 20,000, right outside our windshield, 7/8.
I'm going 14, 1, 10, and 4. This is not an also eligible. This is 14.
This is
and Screaming Uncle for Louis Lasnero, Michael Dubbin Company, Chad Brown trainee. Tried the turf last time at Monmouth. The number went back a little bit, but the 2 dirt starts before against Maiden Special Company, I think, match up nicely with this group. And now we drop in. The drop has me a little bit concerned. But with this outfit, I'm going to overcome that. And again, off the numbers we've seen so far, and with the drop, Screaming Uncle looks legit. 2nd spot, Bargaining Power. It's Chad Brown and Klarovich also taking a drop, albeit this one's already run for a tag. Just a little bigger tag, 40, goes for 20 today off a seasonal debut that was pretty good at that 40 level. And then in the 3rd spot, Disappearance, again, Rob Falcone, made special weight to maiden claiming also. Blinkers off, tried the blinkers last time. So little equipment change, little class move that I think is going to have the horse moving in the proper direction. So looking for my 3 here on some class moves to make a little noise in the 5th. 14, 1, 10, and 4.
I was trying to look it up quickly. I don't know if Very Subtle's test had 14, but I knew Swap Flipperoo had a lot. She had 13, and probably one of the great scores of my life, in probably the single worst test stakes ever. But 14, great coming out of here. I love it. They got 3 furlongs to get to the turn to figure it out. I'm a sort of out there, sort of attitude who's 12-1 on the morning line. Sharp on debut on Veterans Day. Didn't return to the races until Saratoga, and that looks like practice to me. Jose Lozcano retains the mount. I'm running what I designate that would drive people probably crazy on here is we have a couple horses first time in for a tag. We have a bevy full running for the lowest tag price. I don't know if this is the first 20 maiden claim we've had at the meet. And then Newendike, who I have in the mix, is the 9th time running for the tag, but the first time for 20. But Assertive Attitude is going to be a big price in here, and I expect marked improvement off the second race. I draw the rail at a field of 14 going 7/8. I have good early speed, while Flavian Prat is going to have to use it with the Chad Brown runner. And then Neuendijk, 20-1 for all of us hockey fans, has hit the board in half of the 10 lifetime starts. And that's where we have him pegged. I think draws well in here, comes off consecutive turf races. So I'm hoping there's a foundation there, and that good early speed and the foundation, we light up the trifecta, 11, 1, and 7.
Sixth race today, the lone race taken off the turf. We'll see how that affects our friends at Bonaventure. They have Brennan Tawar in here. And again, congratulations on their nice win in the finale on Sunday with Sail with the Wind. That was a lot of fun.
So multiple wins at this meet.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll see what happens with Brennan Tawar as far as scratches and whatnot. But again, the sixth conditional claimers scheduled for 5.5 on the grass. Now they're over on the main track.
And I didn't think the MTOs. I'll be interested to see if Seth has them. As I said, I play it very conservatively on Thursday. I did not use either of these MTOs, figuring that I needed to protect. Like if I was in yesterday, I would have used Gilmore to protect in the TU because he was a stick out at or 2 up with 5 to play. So Seth and I agree with the 10 in here. Ski Patrol, first off the claim, Linda Rice.
Nope, we do not agree because those are my turf picks.
Okay, so you have different ones. Do you like the MTOs?
I put them underneath. I do have a main body horse.
I was right on both accounts yesterday, by the way, with the over-under. The 6.5 stood up. 7 came out. I'm thinking the 1 comes out, the 3, the 4, the 6, probably the 7, maybe the 8, my 10, my 11. I think the also eligible 13 is not going to run. I don't think the 14 is going to run. This is probably, Seth, I know we've had a lot of rain and many off the turfs, but there's been about 5 that the main body has been decimated. And even though this is 5.5 on the turf, I would think that I don't expect the 11 to run. I don't expect the 12. So even though the MTOs are 6-1 and 9-2, I don't think that's where I'd be going. I mean, Speak of the Devil, the 9 intrigues me here. I think Speak of the Devil is one of the ones in the main body that will strongly stay. And that would be who I would want. Maybe the 5 stays, but I think would still be a big price in here. I think the 9 in the main body is the one horse that I feel the 5 and the 9 I would think are staying. The 5 is going to be a long shot, even in a short field. So to me, even though I don't think the MTOs are that great, boy, this could be like a 4-horse race. I mean, unless you stay to get a purse and it's 5.5, but looking at their resume. So to me, I would definitely take the 9 over the 15, 16.
That's exactly how I have it. 9, 16, 15, and 2. Speak of the Devil going out for West Point Company, Steve Asmussen. There's more dirt on the resume than turf, and the dirt form seems pretty good. And then the 2 MTOs, I slightly thought Tivi, I'm assuming is the pronunciation. Again, there's more dirt on the resume. It's Linda Rice, second off the claim, getting back in for the tag and moving pictures for Rudy. We've noted many times already over the past few weeks having a very good Saratoga, and comes in off a good try last time against 16 claimers, moves up a little bit. But in this situation, as you say, with a field that will probably be much reduced, I think is going to be a cozy fit with this bunch. So for me, on the dirt in race number 6, 9, 16, 15, and 2.
Take a quick break. When we come back, the late pick 4.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 101-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 101 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we lost to P.G. Johnson for the Phillies yesterday. And this is as I was watching Ms. Sense run off, and was it Jose Ortiz or Irad Ortiz? I forget, because there was but it had to be literally thinking, because you might have felt she had the field over the barrel, although I don't think she would have. You're seeing like $7,000 run up the backstretch. Come back here. I think because I recorded. I wanted to make some notes. I think she was even money when she ran off, and I'm thinking, hey, there's 7,000 running down the street. But I think we're going to get a turf race today with the boys, and you knew this was going to play out. I felt as if it would play out, but how smart they were with Galabrand.
And I used Galabrand 1, 8, 2, and 7. Philly facing the boys, but with violence on top. She lived up to that win early breeding in a nice debut effort. I'll be interested to see what kind of action she gets in here, because I think it is a good looking effort. But again, it is a Philly versus the boys. And the one post position doesn't get my juices flowing particularly, but the debut effort, at 5.5 from coming from out of it was very impressive. So I'll trust Bill Mott. And part of it obviously was probably looking at the weather and thinking that as well. But Galabrand on top for me. West Point has Carson's Run off a pretty good looking debut. Also kind of was sitting off the pace and came late to get the win, and did it at this mile and a 16th distance. So as compared to my top pick, has already been the trip and has already won at the trip. So that experience certainly counts. And that Spirit Prince for Christophe Clement, still a maiden, but off a pretty good effort, a pretty good maiden effort, debut effort that I think this horse can build on. Nomos, the Pletcher runner, the number seems a little light. If you get some odds there, though, because of that number, I think this one is very intriguing as well. In that they're all lightly raced, all probably still have some upside potential. So I don't know if there's any real surprises to be had here. But for me, 1, 8, 2, and 7.
Some of my notes, and there are many of them for this race. The rails were up for almost the Monmouth race, the Saratoga race, the Ellis Park race, Colonial. I couldn't actually tell. My guess was that the rails were not up, that was the permanent position. So good luck with the timing in these races. I had everybody live in here except the 4, and the 4 could be down the road in the hands of the Chief, making the 4th career start, first time dirt. The only reason I think Market Street is way up against it is I think this is a deep, good field. I don't even have the filly in the mix, and I expected she was going to run in this race for 48 hours, and I think she could be very good going a distance of ground. But it is Spirit Prince for me, who's adding blinkers as a maiden. Loved the debut race, lost to Noted, who was odds on front end winner, came out of that, won the Sapling Stakes. And for the old fogies like me, that is a grass race nowadays, not a dirt race. Has already tried the mile and the 16th. I like the post position. I'm taking the maiden, and David Aragona sees 3-1, and I think that's befitting. For a second, Carson's Run, Christophe Clement's runner on the outside. Also, the other thing I noticed was 1, 2, 3, 5 of these horses in their most recent race or their debut were in race 1 at these different racetracks. Another anomaly. But Carson's Run, to me, I like the effort at Saratoga in winning. A very good ride by Dylan Davis. You get it often. Now, the rails are up, so the teletimer, I think my feelings are well known that. But I do trust the parallel park where there's no arc of a turn. And I like the final 16th of a mile with his Offspring of Cupid. And for third, Get Spooled. Just a couple of quick things here. One is, I've said this before about the head-ons when they're not head-ons. Seth, I always thought about a plank, and the camera could go on that plank all the way over, so it's a true head-on. And I will say this. I would be willing to go out in the audience of 20 people who watch races regularly, and I would bet $100 that checked would not be agreed upon by 80% of the people. I think there was a nudging, but when I see checks, Seth, I'm thinking checked, and I don't think that fits the definition at all. So I would be leery of that. Watch the head-on. It's not a head-on, so go that. But another thing I also want to point out, that August 3rd race, one of the few races on the turf with puffs of dirt coming up. And that's usually when it's firm. 285.
Yeah, and I'm with you on the turf. And the thing that gets me is that your idea is valid, a movable camera, but also video equipment these days is so inexpensive. You think you'd have another camera that would have a better angle on the race. All right, 8th race this afternoon. We're looking at state-bred non-winners of one other than the 1.5 turn mile is the trip.
And by the way, it almost could lend itself to misleading. You did film production. I mean, the angles make it tough, and the closer you get to the hedge, the worse the angle gets. And
I think we've all seen that just looking at the traditional pan shot where you say, oh, so look at what happened. And then you see the head on, you're like, oh, okay.
But just take a look at the head on. If you think it's checked, I mean, I think that's rough. So State Breds here, your favorite distance, 3.52. The 3 to me is in Chico Bella is in good shape here. I like the race, 2 races back at Belmont. I like forward position. We saw it yesterday. I think you were advantageous to be forward. I had some horses that were well back and never stood a chance, and I thought there were some hot paces according to the teletimer. G Munning for second start of the year for Chad Brown. Very nice on debut. That was July 15th. That was opening weekend. But, folks, that makes it 6+ weeks ago, so plenty of time for recovering. And for third, Bank Frenzy making the first start since April 4, Lisa Lewis. So 3-5-2.
5, 3, 2, and 4 for me. G Munning on top. I thought as you say, the comebacker, I thought was one to build on. It was a lifetime best buyer number. So this horse seems to have come back as an improved 4-year-old, as you noted, enough time off to recuperate from that and get to it or move forward. And I think that effort probably is good enough to get things done in here. A couple others on best efforts will be right in the mix as well. And I have them right underneath. Chico Bella, who relatively lightly raced 6 starts so far in the career, moves back into the barn where this horse ran that nice 88 buyer 2 starts back. And I think that's what you have to hang your hat on. And I think it's perfectly legitimate to do so. Comes up from training down at Monmouth. And I think, again, being lightly raced can bounce back to what we've seen over the past couple, but maybe that 1-2 back, which is certainly the one that you think will compete in here with G Munning and with Bank Frenzy, who tossed in also kind of a comparable number last time in a New York Stallion Series race. That was back in April, though. So the horse has been on the sidelines for quite a while off a number that has a look of an aberration. So we'll get a little bit better grip on this one. But the last couple of workouts are okay. I would think indicate the horse is going to come back ready to roll in here in the 8th. 5, 3, 2, and 4.
We'll take our final break. When we come back, the late Daily Double.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 101-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 101 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Starter allowance going 7/8 in race number 9.
I have a 5, 7, 4, and 1. And I will say the 7, I had sent in a couple of dark horse plays because the first race was on the turf. And so if that one kind of fell apart, Garuvan was going to be a play for me this afternoon. And I had that one underneath, but once I got away from turf races, I was kind of looking around for a decent little price. And this one isn't huge, but at 92, I think Garuvan's interesting. But I put Ice Road on top, comes in off some improving numbers over the past few starts. Stuck in a little bit of a bridesmaid situation. That always concerns me when they start to string the second place finishes together. You start to wonder if they just don't want to go past a horse. But I'm going to give this one another shot in here. Moved up to Saratoga last time, was in front before fading a little bit late, and I think off of that effort becomes intriguing in here. That was a mile, cuts back a furlong today. I think that's going to be very, very beneficial as well. Garuvan in the second spot. Couple of starts so far up here at the meet. 1-2 back, was claimed out of that for $25,000, bounced up to this 50 starter allowance level, and ran an okay second. So I think this horse has proven the condition is not going to be an obstacle. So we'll put that one in the second slot and have it looking, I think, fairly live as well. Cushion Bridge in the third slot for Linda Rice, similar to Garuvan. Claimed 2 starts back, tried this company last time and finished just behind Garuvan. So another one that off the claim seemed to prove that this starter allowance level is not going to be a big obstacle. And again, it's one of those Kentucky claims for Linda Rice, which seemed to have been fairly productive this year. So for me, in the 9th, 5, 7, 4, and 1.
Boy, how appropriate if Linda Rice can get me out for the meet on Thursday. In spite of trainer, which is completely not applicable here, 12-1, making the third start since April. Been in this condition, caught a sloppy track, regressed. We move forward over here. It's a reach here. You know, you have a very powerful outfit here, but I was thinking this race was wide open. We both have Ice Road for second, who I do think is the horse to beat coming out of that 1 mile effort. And for third, Garuvan, who has been very sharp in the 2 starts at Saratoga. Those were both going 6. It's going to get 7 in here. My fear in this race is how the track is playing. If speed is very good, and you get a soft, like middle 3 furlongs in here, coming off the pace yesterday, at least for my runners, was not positive. But see if Linda Rice can close the door on this meet for me. 9, 5, 7.
All right, we'll wrap it up at 6:18 in the p.m. On this Thursday afternoon / evening. 10th race today, B condition claimers, going 8.5 furlongs on the grass.
And I had alluded to this race yesterday. When my picks come up, the 11 and the 12.
Oh, and this is the one that moved to the melon, right?
This is going to be on the melon now. The 11 and the 12, those are MTOs, and that's, as I said, that is a Times Union thing. But Seth has what is my turf top pick is his second pick. Miss Bonnie T making the seasonal debut. Don't worry, Bill. We remember that your 2 wins were, I think, the Thursday and Saturday finale in the beginning of the meet. So here we are again, if you believe in such things. But what I more believe in is that I have a running style and a jockey that I think is very comfortable in here, draws a very appetizing post position. So Miss Bonnie T, when all shakes out at about 11:15, will be my top pick in here.
10, 5, 9, and 8 for me. I'm going to put Lady Hamilton on top. And yeah, the post position does not get me going, but I think the horse is in good form coming up from some races down at Gulfstream against a little bit better. So comes up in some fairly good form, gets a little bit of class relief in here, and that may be enough to move us ahead. You have the meet's leading rider on board also. That attracted my attention. Miss Bonnie T, totally agree. This horse very much a player, also coming off the Gulfstream races, but hasn't been seen since the end of December. So that shied me away a little bit. And the workouts to me weren't giving much of an indication one way or the other on the readiness. So if Miss Bonnie T is ready to roll, yes, but I was a little concerned. A layoff, and comes back, drops off the layoff. So I put that one underneath. You got to have fun in the 3rd spot. Lightly raced for Mike Maker. First couple of starts of the career were very nice. They were wins. Tried the turf last time and regressed, so I wasn't quite sure what to make of this. But I thought we're still on the turf where the horse ran the worst race of the career, but we're moving in for a tag, and I think that might mitigate the surface dud we saw last time. So in the 10th and final, 10, 5, 9, and 8.
Yeah, I would say this for our casual racing fans. I think it's relevant when they make these switches. I do not think our 2 turf courses up here are the same. I think they play differently. You talk about post position. You got the Melon, which I have personally considered the fairer, whatever that means, of the 2 turf courses for the way races are run. But I'm very intrigued to see the way the track plays today after the moisture and it being sealed. And I thought, there was a distinct advantage to a certain running style yesterday. It helped me the important time, and it was against me the rest of the day.
Yeah, this is very much a drying out day. There's no question about it. You have some sun, you have a little breeze. They open up the track. This is, will certainly mitigate any moisture in the main track. I mean, the turf course has just taken so much moisture over the past, 7+ weeks that this will help, but it's just been weather. We continue to say it. The place has been snake bit.
Andy Sterling mentioned that there's 4 times as many off the turf races this year as last year. I'm sure that's correct. That's astonishing.
Yeah. No, there was one of the articles.
I'm getting more and more proud of my work as this conversation goes longer and longer. I'm like, now the one difference is though, and I believe in this, Seth, and I learned this lesson the hard way 25 years ago, is like, I do not concern myself with the weather. It does not chagrin me or anything. About 1999, I'm just like, I am not in it. They are not getting into my energy, my up or my down. I'm like, listen, play on. As I say about golf, you got to play the ball as it lies, and that's what it is. And I mean, the thing that I just have had a couple, and we've had them, is where the main bodies have just gotten obliterated, and we've had extremely short fields, because I've said that the one panacea I believe in horse racing is field size, and that's what we've really suffered with. But and I also heard on Twitter and everything, I guess it's supposed to be nice from here to the end.
That's what it looked like on the weather. Yeah, fabulous.
I guess we'll get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
The locals get the best week. So Racing Across America's next. Who do you have?
Coming up on Racing Across America, Mark Hennig will stop by. He's having a very good meet. We'll talk about that.
Which guest is
more.
he?
And
the second one or the third one?
Mark is up first.
First.
Mike Welch.
He's doomed. He might not get on the set.
Mike Welch.
Can I stay?
From the Delhi Racing Forum will come in. A little preview and review with Mike. And then Ramon Dominguez is going to stop by.
Can we get a 4-shot? 2 of my favorite people at the racetrack.
Ramon's great.
I met personally because his family are runners. He's a runner. This is tremendous. And our favorite person, Mark Hennig. What a great day. Wondering why I wasn't invited.
A couple of our TV fans out here. Had a long conversation with them yesterday. They said they might swing by and
thank you.
Enjoy. They had
Oh, you had a conversation about donuts,
well,
obviously.
we did talk about donuts.
You left out that part. You buried the lead.
We did talk donuts because they were mentioning you got the Swedish fish, but I got nothing. So I guess maybe donuts for me.
Fair enough. But I will say this. That's probably bad on my part. I'm sure Kim thought I was going to share the Swedish fish, which is bad on her part. And my parents, generally, I like to think, did a good job raising me, but not with Swedish fish. That was. And then, you know what? I got my comeuppance because I brought them home and the other two people in the house killed them. So I got what I deserved at the end of the day. Comes around, goes around. But, folks, it's it is as great a weather day to come to the races as there is because it's sunny, beautiful out, but the breeze and the temperature is phenomenal. So if you, and I've said this before, if you only have come up for half a day, what'd I say? If you can come for at least 4 races, I think it's worth it.
Absolutely.
I don't know that I'd come up for 3, but if you come up for 4 races, it's perfect. It doesn't get any better than this. I know we've struggled, but today is not part of the struggle.
And again, don't forget low rollers today.
Oh,
so that's always a lot of fun. You got a couple more
greatest
shots of
contest
those.
ever invented.
And you were right. The Paddock Suite is today. That's you have left today and Monday. The Paddock
Suite. So you got
Suite's
low rollers.
You
can go to the Paddock Suite. This is it. He stays, I go. Have a great Thursday.
You've been watching the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report has been brought to you by Thorough Pace, Premium Racing Analytics, allowing bettors to identify races with extreme pace scenarios in a matter of seconds. Capital OTB's mobile wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with Capital OTB's mobile wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.